All right, guys, 2003 Honda CRV. This customer's complaint is I had it at budget brake and muffler, right? They want me to check and report on the check engine light because budget brake and muffler pulled codes for an O2 sensor problem for not getting ground. Please verify for a solution. Thank you. So I guess they only do brakes and mufflers, I guess. So I don't know. Anytime there's an issue, just bring it to the dealership. They'll figure it out, right? So yeah. Anyways, today's hasn't been a good day because all it's been is a diag for me today. not much time on my belt right now. So, anyways, I might as well make a YouTube video on it. So yeah. Anyways, let's hook up a scanner and see what code it has in the engine computer because it does have a check engine light. Oh, and by the way, 155,000 kilometers, so almost 100,000 miles for you guys. So let's hook up the scanner. Okay, hook up the scanner. The OBD just kind of dangles down there. Okay, let's see what code we got. Man. I guess it does not. Cars too old to automatic read the VIN. Yeah, it's a 2004 CRV. Engine light. Alright, so heater circuit, sensor 1 heater circuit failure, and then P0134 for sensor 1 circuit no activity. So let's go look at live data and go back. Read data stream. Well, actually, let's do key on for now. That's not what I need. Brake switch. Oh, where's my O2 sensors? Air fuel ratio sensor 1 heater sensor 1, and then sensor 2s, and that should be good. Yeah, negative 36 milliamps. That's interesting. Heaters are off. Start the car. So heater circuits go on once the car starts. Doesn't seem like that sensor 1 is doing anything. You can also graph these things if you want. Okay. It won't let me graph it. Weird. Oh, there we go. Now it's doing something. So sensor 1 is doing something. Took it a little while, but it's doing something. So it has a heater circuit malfunction. Simple test is get yourself your test light, and then see if the light turns on. I wonder what they were doing at budget brake and muffler before they had the check engine light, because these CRVs, as like every other CRV, Thieves like to steal the catalytic converter, and what they do is they yank it out with the connectors and everything, with the catalytic converter. So they destroy the connector on the O2 sensors. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna have to lift up the car because I gotta put it on the hoist, and then I'll just do some visual inspections because that oxygen sensor is working, right? As you can see, sensor 1. Yeah, and here says it's on. So just to quickly check, visually inspect the connector, see if there's any damage. They probably, my guess is they put the an aftermarket catalytic converter because it got stolen at some point. Maybe that's why they were a budget brake and muffler. So yeah, anyways, let's have a look. All right, so we're down underneath here. This thing looks still intact, actually, but it looks kind of funky. It's pretty close to the heat shield. I don't know, but it's still here. It didn't get stolen, but that was my guess. But I mean, if they took it and checked, we're checking things. At least they could have, you know, put the bracket back on, right? But yeah, the other thing is I want to check that heater circuit, because if it has a bad heater circuit, and the oxygen sensor isn't getting hot enough for it to start reading the exhaust stream, then the computer can actually think that there is no activity because it hasn't gotten hot enough to be able to start reading the exhaust flow coming out from the engine. So that can also set that other code for no activity. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the connector. We're gonna find our two heater circuits, which is these two black wires, right? We're gonna just put a test light or a light bulb. I usually use light bulb and see if that heater circuit is working. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. If we do find that the heater circuit's working, then we're just gonna check the resistance on the two black wires to see what specs is for the heater circuit, and then yeah, just make the call that way. All right, let me just hook up my test light. Oh, tell him he'll call you back. Call him back. Okay. Okay, start her up. So right now the heater circuit says it's off. Says it's on. Oh, why? Why did it not turn on? Am I not touching it? Oh, it turned off. Okay, shut it off. Shut her off. So make sure you check your test equipment. Damn, because this light bulb burnt out. That's why I didn't light. All right, now with a new light bulb. Okay, go ahead, start it. There you go. You got a nice light, and it's getting hot. Okay, shut it off. Woo, hot. So yeah, we know that the heater circuit on this side is good. So we're gonna check we're gonna look up on shop manual to see what the spec or resistance is for this heater circuit on the oxygen sensor side. So I'm trying to find information on like resistance of the oxygen sensor, but sometimes resistance check doesn't always tell you if it's good or bad, right? So, you know, I'm trying to find information on all data and then also on the Honda stuff, right? But if you go to the flow chart for the Honda, it basically tells you, is there battery voltage? Which we know we have battery voltage at the connector for the heater circuit, so why check at the PCM if you can just check at the connector? And it says update the PCM, and then, you know, if there's no updates, then substitute with a good known ECM PCM. So basically throw in a new PCM to see if it works, right? And then, but yeah, we know the heater circuit works because, you know, it lights up my light bulb here. But something that, you know, these flowcharts don't tell you is that for the air-fuel ratio sensor to start working, it has to get to a certain temperature before it actually starts reading. So if your oxygen sensor is not, the heater in the oxygen sensor isn't working properly, it takes a little longer to get hot, right? And it doesn't read properly. So the computer thinks that because your oxygen sensor isn't reading the exhaust stream in your exhaust because it's not hot enough, the computer sets the code for no activity because it's not doing anything. But it's just because it's not getting hot enough for it to start doing its job, right? So I found something that's pretty useful information if you want to read. But, you know, heater circuit malfunction. A heater for a sensor element is embedded in the air-fuel ratio sensor and is controlled by the engine control module, ECM powertrain control module. When activated, it heats the sensor to stabilize and speed the detection of oxygen content when the exhaust gas temperature is cold. So, you know, when you first start up in the morning, yeah, it takes a while for it to heat up. That's why you have a heater circuit or a heater in the oxygen sensor, right? And I guess it's supposed to start working after 60 seconds. So imagine if it takes longer than 60 seconds, right? Your PCM is gonna set a code for no activity because it's not doing anything. So what we really want to chase after is the heater circuit, not the what do you call it, the air fuel ratio side, the sensing part of the air fuel ratio sensor, if that makes sense. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta have good information and understand how your oxygen sensor works. So yeah, kind of just wasted a bunch of paper printing this stuff out for you guys. But yeah, just because you have resistance in the oxygen sensor doesn't mean it's a correct, it's a good sensor. It could, be reading, actually, when I check the resistance value in this one is lower than this one. But, 3.5 ohms compared to 4.5 ohms. So, I don't know. And I couldn't find any specs on, or information on, what the resistance is supposed to be. So, yeah. Yeah, sometimes don't be fooled with you get a heater circuit and plus you get a no activity from the oxygen sensor. It's just because your heater's not working can also cause a no activity on your oxygen sensor, just because it's not getting hot enough for it to read, because your computer has to see activity at a certain interval or time. Like there's an amount of time before it sets that code, because hey, it's like after 60 seconds there's no activity because the oxygen sensor hasn't gotten hot enough, because your heater circuit or your heater in the oxygen sensor isn't working, But one thing I want to do is I just want to make sure that I can crack this oxygen sensor loose, which sometimes they're just seized in there and you take the threads out. Oh, okay, yeah, sweet, I got it loose. So that's fine. Not gonna touch that one. That one's a little harder to get off. At the same time, I was looking at live data. I was holding the RPMs up, but the oxygen sensor wasn't really doing anything for a while. And then I think I caught that on video, but and it started working again. So it did take a little while for it to start doing something. So that also tells me that maybe it's just taken a while for the oxygen sensor to be heating up to actually be doing its job. So live data also helped in determining that as well. Yeah, so I gotta get myself a socket. Yeah, that way, put this bracket back up there. So yeah, now we'll just wait and then we'll get a new oxygen sensor. So you know what would be cool? Actually, I thought about this. If well, we gotta let it sit overnight and let everything cool down, so it's like a nice cold startup. But I would think that it'd be pretty cool to have live data in front of you, and then we're gonna start the car and see how long it actually takes for that air fuel sensor to be to start reading, right? Because if it does take longer than, I guess from what I read, is 60 seconds, and it still doesn't do anything, then the computer determines that hey, the oxygen sensor isn't doing anything. But what happens after the 60 seconds? How long after the 60 seconds will it take for that oxygen sensor to start doing something? Which also helps determine if it's that heater circuit not doing its job, heating that oxygen sensor for it to start doing its job. if I explain that properly. So yeah, even right now, started it up. Is my live data working? Yeah, oh, what's up?
You're doing the diag for me on one thing.
On what thing?
Was it this car?
This one's John Hose.
Yeah, no, it's the other one.
I don't know how many diags I got today, but nope.
Okay.
Am I not connected? Oh man, let's see. Go back. Back. Read data stream. let's include RPM so we know we are doing something. Okay, there we go. So heater circuit is on, right? But my sensor 1 isn't doing anything. Downstream has started working, as you noticed. Upstream still hasn't done anything. So what if I bring the RPMs up? So that heater circuit turned off. Oh, the glare, you didn't even see it. Huh. And it's set to check engine light. Already. Read fault codes. Watch that. Yeah, sensor 1 circuit no activity, right? You see that, right? Sensor 1 no activity. It set that code. But go back to data stream. Is it still checked? It does not. I just want that. Okay. So now let's see if that sensor 1, if I get it hot enough, it'll start working again. One minute has elapsed. Alright, so it took a while, but you can see sensor 1 is working. And so yeah, so now shut it off, key on. Once that sensor's hot enough, right? I don't know why you gotta keep going out and then back in again. So key's off, right? Car's not running. Now that the it's actually at operating temperature, and I just cycle the key back on again. Heater circuit's on. And then your oxygen sensor starts working again. So yeah, that sensor's just got to be nice and hot for that thing to be working. So yeah, simple call. I'm just going to call an oxygen sensor on it. Not a issue with a grounding issue, because it's the two wires go to the PCM. It's just a slow learning oxygen sensor. All right, so what we're gonna do now is actually we gotta wait for the customer to give us approval to replace that oxygen sensor. Plus, we don't usually have that part in stock, so we gotta order it. Once we put that in, I'm gonna bring you back with our scanner with live data, and then we're gonna start it up. And then, well, by the time that happens, everything's gonna be nice and cold. So we're gonna do a cold startup, and then we're gonna see on live data how long that air fuel ratio sensor will start reading once the heater circuit shuts off, because I think it's roughly about 60 seconds is what the information on shop manual says. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge once we get there. So I'll bring you guys back once we get the new oxygen sensor, and then I put it in, and then yeah, show you what's supposed to be happening. But yeah. I guess they did the brakes already. Look at that, brand new brakes. I guess they don't call them budget brake and muffler for nothing, because they just do your brakes. I guess that's all they do, brakes, and send them somewhere else for diag. Well, I left the car on my hoist yesterday before I left, you know, asking the advisor, hey, you know, let me know when, if the customer wants to do anything. But, you know, it's the end of the day, still hasn't gotten back to me. And I guess somebody actually took the car off my hoist and, you know, returned it to the customer, where I didn't even finish the work order yet and wrote in my story or anything, because it was the end of the day, assuming that the customer's going to, you know, going to do it in the morning, because we can get the parts first thing in the morning. So I don't know.